What's up, guys? It's Thomas here to tell you how to be successful in your 20s. Let's get this out of the way real quick because this is a brand new channel. I am 19 years old. I live in my parents' house and I'm filming this in the corner of my bedroom on my little computer setup. So why should you take financial information from me? Well, one, again, I gotta get through this. I'm not a financial advisor, so anything that you hear from this video, do your own research before you apply it to your life, because I am not responsible for your losses. I'm only here to pass on information that I already know. Two, just because I'm a 19-year-old who is not a $1,000,000 investor does not mean that I do not have information. I do not possess information to pass on to you guys. So if you guys, fact check me, do whatever you have to do. But, I'm just here to try to share the information that I gather from other sources, from what I've learned. So I really appreciate it if you hit that like button, you subscribe, and you help support this passion of mine, which is sharing this information and trying to build wealth. It's something that I really am passionate about, and I'd really appreciate any kind of support I can get. So without further ado, let's get right into our top 7 ways to be successful in your 20s. Well, number 1, let's start off. Stop spending money on useless stuff. There's no need to spend $2.70 on average for a coffee when you go to Dunkin', Starbucks, or your local coffee house. It doesn't matter. There's no reason you should be spending that much money on coffee. On average, so $2.70 coffee, if you get 4 or 5 times a week, that's over $700 of your yearly income going just to coffee, when you could literally just get coffee at home, make it, and 20 cents a coffee, maybe 30 cents a coffee. You continue to see that. So if you get coffee 5 times a week, instead of spending over $10 on those 5 coffees, you're spending maybe a little bit over $1. So those small things really add up. So it's something that is important to look at if you're trying to save money. And you can also, apply this to going out to eat. You may go out to eat too much. The average household spends about, we'll say, $3,000 a year on food, and maybe you don't spend that much, but even $1 to $2 grand is a lot of money. Even $500 to $700 is a lot of money. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't go do this stuff. Obviously, every once in a while, it's good to go out to eat. It's good to have a good time, but it's important to watch how much you're doing it, because saving money is important and it's going to help you be successful, especially in the early ages of your 20s when you're trying to build these money saving habits for your future. Which leads into number 2. Probably, honestly, the biggest thing on this list, just because for your 20s, building credit, that is so important in your 20s. I would highly suggest going to get a credit card, using that credit card and paying it off immediately or before the end of the month when it's due. Paying the whole thing off. Try never have to have an outstanding balance on your credit card, because it'll affect your credit score, and also, you might miss a payment and then that affects your credit score, and also that means you're in debt if you have outstanding. So it's important to pay off your credit card in full all the time, every month. And if you do this and you gather a high credit score, it's going to help you in a lot of ways, especially in your 20s. In your late 20s, you might be looking to buy your first house. You're not going to be able to get a loan without a good credit score, or a good loan, I should say. You're not going to be able to get a nice car if you want that without getting a good credit score, or having a good credit score. Even if you want to go back to school, having the ability to get a loan for that with a good credit score is going to help without the co-signing of your parents if you have that before. So, having a credit score is actually really pivotal to having a successful 20s, because your 20s to your mid-20s to late 20s is where you really start to pop off. Your career is probably popping off. You're probably buying your first house. You're probably buying your first nice car that's going to last for a while. So it's really important to get a credit card. I'm a student, so I have a student credit card. I use it. I try to pay it off a little bit a month. I started off bad because I was slacking. I didn't really know this stuff when I first got my credit card. I didn't really see the importance of paying off my credit and having a good credit score. But now I'm on the right trajectory.
Stupid! I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
I'm on the right trajectory to get everything paid off. I'm gonna have a good credit score. Right now it's around 720, which it will continue to build. So I just know I'm in good standing, and it's gonna really help you guys if you follow along that path. This one's kind of kind of like whatever, but it's focusing on your mental and your physical health. Guys, you don't know how important it is to have good physical and mental health to be successful at any age, but especially at an age like your 20s. Mental health stops you from having or making bad habits. If you're in a bad spot in your life and your mental health is, lacking, you might want to spend money on things you don't need, like alcohol, drugs, food. These are all things that people start doing when they have mental health problems. So it's good to take a day off. Sometimes it's good to do stuff that's good for your mental health. So, kind of contradicting what I said in the first thing. Even though you shouldn't, constantly be getting coffee, you shouldn't constantly be getting takeout food or eating out. It is important to, incorporate those things into your life because they might help with your mental health. You're having more fun. So that's something that you have to just balance because it's going to be good for you. On the other hand, your physical health. If your physical health is really bad, say you're starting to get a little bit more on that side where your body, you just don't want to do anything. You're a couch potato, you're lazy, you don't want to do the work, you don't want to put in the work to make the money, to pursue your passion. That's when it becomes a problem. So physical health is really important because it helps keep you motivated to want to get up and go do things that's gonna help you be successful. It's a very pivotal age to be healthy and have all these things in line. So go out there. Yeah, I'm not saying go to the gym 7 times a week, but just try to find a way to stay healthy. All right, number 4. This one's a little bit scary for some people, but it's start investing. Investing is such an important thing to do, especially starting in your 20s, because an investment at 20 years old could double or triple if you do it right. And I'm not saying that you should go out into, do option trades, do all this crazy stuff that you see stock traders do in options, swing trading, day trading, all this crazy stuff that you see. I'm not saying going out and do that because that stuff's for advanced people that enjoy the field, that enjoy trading stocks, that enjoy the rush, enjoy the research. I'm saying put your money into the S&P 500 or any of those other index funds. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to go into explaining it right now, but it's something that you should look into because an index fund, usually like stuff like the S&P 500, grow 6 to 7% a year, sometimes 10%. So it would just be a good thing to constantly put money in it. Even when it goes down, put money in it. Even when it goes up, you keep on putting money in it. You put money in it monthly, weekly, daily, yearly. It doesn't matter, but if you start investing money in that, you're going to start growing your money and have more money to save and to put towards stuff that might be beneficial to you, like a car or eventually a home. And you can do this by there's a few. I personally like to use like Acorns for my long-term like index investing, but you can also, and Acorns is really easy because they literally just do all the work for you, which we'll talk more about Acorns in the next thing too. But for now, you can also use Robinhood and just look at the index funds on that. There's a lot of sources out there for good information. And if you need help like researching information about investing, there's a lot of free sources out there. Don't, well, I'm not going to tell you not to, but personally, I would not pay any money for those courses unless you absolutely have it and you think it's going to be actually beneficial. But some of these courses are hundreds or thousands of dollars and you're probably going to get stuck in them. But there's a lot of free sources. You can do Google search. Investopedia, honestly, has helped me a whole bunch with my investing. And then YouTube channels, actually the two that really inspired me to want to do this channel and want to make this video are Andre and Graham. They do a really good job talking about investing. They talk about more than just investing too, but they do a really good job. They really help and they really motivated me actually to want to pursue this finance field more than I already do. Five, this one is very controversial, especially with a lot of older people, I feel like, but younger people too. And it's opening a retirement account. A lot of people think this is silly at such a young age, but honestly, I think it's one of probably the most important thing on this list besides building credit. Um, Opening a retirement account as early as you can is going to set you up amazingly for retirement. If you open up an IRA at 20 years old, 20, and you put the max amount a year in, which is 6,000, with the 7% increase every year, return every year, by the age 65, so 20 to 65, 45 years, that $6,000 a year is going to turn into probably somewhere around $2 to $2.5 million with the 7% return. That is an incredible return. And if you don't believe me, you can go on Google and type in a Roth IRA calculator or something like that. It might be a little bit skirred because those calculators are honestly a little bit off. A lot of them only have the 5,000 a max per year, which is a little bit older, but that's fine. And it's gonna be right around that number. It's gonna be 1.5 to 2.5 million that you have at retirement, and that's tax free. Obviously, most 20-year-olds don't have $6,000 to put in at the age of 20, but that's just an example. You can start doing that at 25, but just so you know, 20 to 65 is like 2 to 2.5 million. 30 to 65 doing $6,000 a year is only probably 1 to 1.5 million. That 10 years makes a huge difference in money. So what I would do is obviously don't pour all of your money into a retirement account, because then you are in a pickle because you can't take that money out until the end. And if you do, you get penalized very heavily. So, I would set aside a certain amount of money, a month, and find a way to contribute to that retirement plan without hurting you for right now. So that's just my opinion. Like I said, not a financial advisor, but that would be a good way to do it. Number 6, which is making a passion out of money. Guys, if you have a passion, don't just let it sit there and be useless to you. Like, my passion is finance. I'm going to school for finance. I'm kind of lucky because my passion kind of guarantees me to make at least a little bit of money. I mean, I'm going to school for finance is my passion. Money is my passion. So obviously, if that's my passion, my money I'm gonna make money off of it. But just because your passion is not finance or business related does not mean that you can't make money. If your passion is wrestling, find a way to make money off that. Start doing classes for young children. Start building a business around it. If your money is art, start selling art if you can. Start practicing your technique. Do what you have to do to make money in your field so you can actually enjoy your life and your job. You don't want to work a job that you don't like. Everybody always tells that all through school, from elementary school to high school to college. Everybody always says, don't work a job you don't like or that you hate. Well, that makes sense. So if you're able to, or you can at least try to make your passion into some kind of money building thing, even if it's just a side hustle, because you're going to enjoy it, you're going to have fun doing it, and there's going to be some benefits of money that comes along with it. So doesn't it just sound like a good idea? And number 7, this one is going to come across like, oh, he couldn't think of anything else, so he just said this. But it's not necessarily true. I think this is really important. And number 7 is study. Study your passion. Study ways to make money. Study the industry that you want to be involved in. This is going to make a huge difference in your ability to make money. It's going to really make you successful in your 20s. This whole video is about being successful in your 20s. And your 20s is your prime time to figure out what you're doing. So study everything. Study. If you are tossed up between two things, if you're tossed up between doing opening a restaurant or being an accountant, which I know are two like random things, but just popped in my head. Study both of them. Figure out which one you think you might like more, and then study that one deeper and get good at it, master it. That way you're gonna be successful. You can actually be capable of knowing what you're doing. So as dumb and as cliche as it sounds, study, take the time, and do what you have to do to be successful. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do this stuff, I'm not going to say you're not going to be successful, but it's going to make things a whole lot harder. If you continue to spend money on coffee every day at Starbucks, if you never get a credit card and don't ever build any credit, if you become unhealthy, start drinking, start gaining a whole bunch of weight that you don't want to gain, and if you don't invest, you don't open a retirement account, and you don't make money out of your passion, all this stuff, it's going to be really hard to start building success. Success is not built overnight, which I know is a really corny line that you've heard probably 1,000 times, but success is not built overnight. It's built over a lifetime. And that really starts, it starts in high school, with your grades and stuff, which most people are probably past this point. But it doesn't need to like be over after high school. You can start at 19 years old, 20 years old, right after high school, and you can build it all the way up until retirement. So take it how you want, guys. This is just my list of things that I think is going to help you be successful in your 20s. This is things that I'm trying to aim towards, and I think it's leading me on the right track, I believe. There's going to be more things that we can talk about in the future. I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and hit that subscribe button. You really supported the first video of this channel. I'm actually going to leave the links to Andre and Graham in my description, because they'll not know who it's coming from, but they were big inspirations for me for making this video, and I really appreciated them for helping me out and getting to this point. So I'm going to do that. If you don't mind going to look at their channel, it's going to help you out more than this channel is going to help you out. But anyways, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.